Hello and thank you for watching. My name is Rachel Barnett with Gentle Frog. I'm here to create videos for you to help you understand QuickBooks slightly better than you currently do. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the chat box. Thank you. In this video, I want to talk to you about adding an account to the chart of accounts. But not just, hey, we're going to add an account, but I think it's going to be really beneficial to go through and explain what are the different account types so that when you go to add an account, you'll understand your options. At the time of recording this, Intuit is changing the left-hand navigation bar. Depending on who I'm helping is what it looks like. So instead of showing you how to get to the chart of accounts from the left-hand navigation, I'm going to show you how to get there from the gear. We're going to go to the gear in the upper right-hand corner. We're then going to go to the left-hand side where it says Your Company, and then down to Chart of Accounts. What you see is my list of accounts on the Chart of Accounts, but what I want to go over is how to add a new account and what they all mean. To add a new account, I'm going to click on the green New in the upper right-hand corner. In the upper right-hand side, I have various options. I have the option for income, expense, bank. You get the idea. Let's take them individually. When I select income, down below, I can see income and I can see the income accounts that I have in my sample company. The first field that I need to choose from is Save Account Under. And so I can say, I would like to save my new account under the header of income. I can pick a tax form selection. I'm just going to hover over this so you can see it. It says your accountant can use the tax form line to help you fill out tax forms. I strongly recommend that you outsource your taxes to a professional. Your professional is not going to trust that you picked the correct accounts. I myself just pick the first account on the list. Always. I do not spend time trying to find the right tax form selection. It makes absolutely zero difference when running your reports. For the account name, I'm going to give it a simple name, Income Demo. You can see down below in the preview where Income Demo shows up. It's under the header of income, just like I set up here. And then down below, it's alphabetically called Income Demo. Let's say that I wanted it to be under Bookkeeping Income. I can change my Save Account Under, and I can say this should go under Bookkeeping Income. There it is, showing up under Bookkeeping Income. I've added the description here. You'll notice that it didn't update anything anywhere. Ultimately, the only place you're going to see account description is right here when you're looking at the account setup. In the 5 years that I've been training people to use QuickBooks, I've only ever had one person that wanted a custom report with a column for description. In real life, I don't spend any time at all adding the description because I'm never going to look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Save. If I scroll down, I'm just going to watch the second column to say Income. I can see Income Demo here. It's under Bookkeeping Income, just like I expected. Let's go ahead and edit that. I'm going to click the drop down to the right and select Edit. Let's make believe that I didn't really want to make an income. I want to make an expense. What I really want to do is show you all of these things across the top. So let's talk about expenses. First, it says Save Account Under and shows me my options. Down below, you can see a preview of your options. There are two primary kinds of expenses. There are cost of goods sold and there are operating expenses. Every so often you have a weird one-off that doesn't really fit in either bucket. Well, the secret for that is you scroll all the way down and then you'll eventually get to other expenses. For the purpose of this, let's just take a look at it in terms of cost of goods sold and operating expenses. When I select cost of goods sold, my tax form selection, it's real tempting to pick whatever feels right. I pick the first one. I give it a name. So I'm just going to call it COGS Demo. You can see in the preview where it would show up. Let me change this from cost of goods to expenses. I'm going to choose the first thing on tax form, and I'm going to say Expense Demo. The whole reason you see this on YouTube is because I have a virtual assistant and I have a video editor. People do hire me because they found my YouTube videos. I cannot call their work or their labor a cost of goods sold because I can't attribute the dollars that I pay them to a specific sale. They're more my operating expenses. They're money that I spend to operate my business. An example of a cost of goods sold, at least in my business, would be when Megan and I take on a client that's just slightly bigger than we can handle, getting the onboarding or perhaps cleaning up old records, we're likely to hire another bookkeeper to help us. When we do that, that's a cost of goods sold. We specifically hired someone to help with a specific job. I can link the purchase of that person's time with a sale that I've made. That's your difference between a cost of goods sold and an expense. Let's work our way across the top and go to banks next. When I select banks, it resets everything. I think we're used to that now. Save under. I can say save under the main heading of bank accounts or save under a particular bank account. I never make a sub-account under bank accounts. I know that other people do. I know that it works for them. For me, it doesn't work. For my brain, I have to see the bank account as a top-level account. The tax form? I don't care, so I pick the first one. The account name? I renamed it to Checking Demo. I rename the accounts so you can see them update in the preview below. The description doesn't matter, so I don't do anything with it. If you're not sure what to do with a starting date and an opening balance, I have other videos that go through that. Let's go over to assets. Your options for main headers under assets include accounts receivable. This is the money that the clients owe the business. Other current assets. These are assets that can be liquidated or expect to be liquidated within a year. So stuff like inventory. You're not going to hold inventory for more than a year, hopefully. Fixed assets. That's going to be the tangible things that are harder to dispose of, such as the Corvette I keep trying to explain to my tax person that I need for business. And then down below are other assets. Examples of other assets include goodwill and patents. So let's go back to the top. I would not add an account under accounts receivable. If your business needs to add an account under accounts receivable, it's a very specific use case and you know who you are. For the rest of us, let's talk about other current assets. Tax form selection, I pick the first one. Account name, I give it whatever name I want. So I'm going to choose Asset Demo. Let's say, for example, that I don't need another current asset, I need a fixed asset. Tax form, top option. Account name, fixed assets, I try to be more specific with them. If I have a fixed asset, that means that I went and I purchased something for my business, a tangible, amazing, hopefully, something that cost more than $2,000 or $3,000. Your tax person will tell you what the threshold is when they want something to show up as an expense to the business versus an asset. Let's make believe that I wore my tax person down and he said, yeah, you can absolutely have a Corvette as a company car for your home-based business. When I go to record that asset, I'm going to put the year in the description. The reason I'm doing that is because if I can wear them down once, I can wear them down twice. In real life, you might have a situation where you have company vehicles. It's going to be to your benefit and to the tax preparer's benefit that you identify what the vehicles are. I will put in the year in some sort of description, and then maybe the last four of the VIN. Maybe the fixed asset isn't a vehicle, maybe it's equipment. Try to put in some sort of description of the equipment, not just the word equipment. What you're really looking to do is to not frustrate your tax preparer. Your tax preparer needs to log the assets, and they need to be able to quickly identify, have those assets changed? Did you buy new things? If you did buy new things, what are those things? My 2 cents is that you don't use generic words, such as office equipment. Try to be more descriptive. Let's move on to other assets. I'm going to go ahead and click on tax form selection. In this case, I think it's kind of nice to look at it because it gives us a really good example of stuff. Most businesses aren't going to have these things, but if they apply, you can see them here. That might give you inspiration for what you would write in your account name. Let's move on to credit cards. So when I select Save Account Under, you can see that I can save it under the main header of credit card, or I can save it as a sub-account under the name of a credit card. If your business has a corporate credit card account, you might choose to have all of the cardholders as a main level account, like this, or you might choose to have the cardholders as sub-accounts like this. There is no one right way or wrong way of addressing this. I prefer to have them as main level accounts. My mentor, Seth David, really prefers to have them as sub-accounts. I encourage you to do whatever makes the most sense for you in your brain because you're the one maintaining it. But let me just show you. We save it under a header of credit cards. We only have one tax form, which is great. The account name, I'm just going to use Credit Card Demo. You can see where it shows up. Let me just go ahead and make that a sub-account under Alaska Airlines. So now you can see what it looks like there. You can have multiple sub-accounts under the main account. How you set this up depends on your situation and your preferences. You may have a situation where you have multiple sub-accounts underneath a credit card. That's totally fine. You might have multiple main accounts. That's totally fine. A quick tip while I'm here. Your debit card is part of your checking account. Your debit card is not a credit card. Let's move on to liabilities. There are a handful of account types under liabilities. There's accounts payable. Please don't put a sub-account under accounts payable. There's other current liabilities. This means money that the business owes that is likely to be paid off or paid back within 12 months. And then further down is long-term liabilities. This is money the business owes that is likely to be paid off in longer than 12 months. If you pick the wrong account or if you win the lottery, it's going to be just fine. But generally speaking, that's how you want to organize it. Short term, less than 12 months. Long term, longer than 12 months. Last but not least is equity. There's the Save Account Under, and then there's a handful of options here. For almost everything I do, I just select equity. My tax form, I pick a thing. And then for my account names, most of the time when I'm making an equity account, I'm making some sort of contribution account or some sort of distribution account. There are nuances for how you're supposed to name things. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you're getting started and you really can't afford to hire help, and that's totally fine. If you need a way to log the money you've contributed to your business, you might enter it in as owner's contribution or your name contribution. So mine might say Rachel Barnett contribution. The money you take out, I might name it Rachel Barnett distribution or Rachel Barnett withdrawal or pay in personal expense. I don't want you to get wrapped up in what the proper terminology is for your use case. I want you to feel comfortable navigating QuickBooks, and then later, if you realize you didn't pick the right combination of words, you can always edit the account on the chart of accounts. That's my entire demo for how to add an account to the chart of accounts from the chart of accounts. I know that's a kind of a tongue twister and it sounds a little silly. Let me show you why I say that. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go to the banking section. So let's imagine that you're working through your downloaded banking and you see that you have a purchase and you realize you don't have the account you want. And so you scroll to the top and you say, well, perfect. I'm going to add a new account. This is extra hilarious. This whole screen, totally different. So everything that I just ran through, it's all here. The first one is accounts receivable. It will discourage you from adding an account with the account type of accounts receivable. Other current asset. This is going to be things that are likely to convert to cash easily. Things like your inventory. Bank is going to be any sort of bank account. Fixed assets, These are your big tangible things. So the company car, the forklift, whatever the case is. Other assets, that's going to be stuff like your patents. Accounts payable, I really discourage you from picking and adding an account to accounts payable. I would just use the accounts payable module that's built into QuickBooks. Credit card, this is going to be your credit cards, not your debit cards, your credit cards. Other current liabilities, this will be loans that you anticipate paying off within 1 year. Long-term liabilities, loans you anticipate to pay off in longer than 1 year. Equity, this is going to be the owner's money. So typically money in or money out. Then there's income. Income is the money you collect from selling your goods and services. Other income is going to be the other odds and ends. A good example of this is the 5 cents in interest you get off your bank. I don't put it at the top of my profit and loss with all of my bookkeeping income. I put it at the bottom because I need to keep track of it, but I don't need it front and center. Cost of goods sold. This is the cost of the goods or labor that you bought and then sold to your client. Expenses. This is the money that you spent to operate your business. Then there's other expense. This is going to be stuff like amortization. Just a quick side note on amortization and depreciation. It is not up to the business owner to keep track of that. When the taxes are filed at year end, the tax preparer will let you know what to enter into your accounting software. So that's it. That's what you add to your chart of accounts. That's what it looks like, no matter which route you take to get there. I hope this video has been helpful. Typically my videos are shorter, but if there's ever a topic that you want to see a big overview on, please don't hesitate to comment below, let me know. My VA will keep track of it and make sure it happens. Thank you so much and have a great day.